Aztec Safety is #1 for online safety training.
Aztec Safety is the proud sponsor of the Aztec Safety Challenge, the #1 event on the World Curling Tour.
And Aztec Safety has been a proud sponsor of Team Jacobs on our quest to represent Canada at the Olympic Games.
A very pleasant good evening and hello, curling fans, and welcome to the Martensville Curling Club. It's the Grand Slam of Curling Canadian Open Tier 2 here on Curling Stadium. We have this matchup this evening between Andrew Stopera and Kevin Cooey. It is Kevin Cooey with the hammer, Team Stopera throwing the Red Rocks. I'm Dave Schmel. I'm joined by Sean Joyce. Connor Sims is our production today, and we're happy to have you here with us. So, Sean, this is my first look at the former Team Dropkin with Stopera at the helm.
Yeah, mine as well. And to be honest, I can't recall even how. I remember when Corey made the announcement that he was going to step away for the rest of this season, but I don't remember. I don't know how many games these guys even have played yet under this particular configuration.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been too many. Of course, Andrew's been a longtime member of the team and has handled skipping duties in the past. And of course, with that exit, brings in another player. Delivering that rock there is Lance Wheeler, formerly of Team Scott Dunham. Lance played second for the last couple of years for Scott Dunham. Also has been playing a lot of mixed doubles of late. He's out of Denver and joins the team to be the fourth and throw the lead stones here. One thing about Lance Wheeler, he brings excellent brushing to the team.
Well, they're going to need everything they can get today. They come into this game with a record of 1-1. These two teams in the men's side pool A are the last two to be playing their third game. Everybody plays 4 games in the round robin qualifying portion. Stopera comes in with a record of 1-1. 3-1 should get you the playoffs for sure. So, they kind of control their own fate if they keep winning. Kevin Cooey has lost his opening 2. He is in must-win territory, and then probably even at that, at 2-2, you're kind of hoping for tiebreakers, and you better have a good draw to the button score because that's the tiebreaker. There are no tiebreaker games. You'd have to hope that 2-2 ends up tied for the playoffs, and that you've got a really good draw to the button.
And to that point in our pregame practice and during the last stone draws, Kevin Cooey did pin it today, so that would help his score.
It would gave him the last rock advantage here in the opening end as well.
Let's see, making that shot around the outside there, and they lie 3. And to our chat's point, Lance did fill in with this team. Well, filled in with Team Dropkin a few times during their injury, so he's not a stranger to them, Sean.
Hadn't actually seen Team Cooey yet this weekend. I didn't realize they were playing shorthanded. I do know that, as has been their usual, or at least Kevin's usual, they have flirted with those time clocks a bit.
Carrick did play earlier in the week, and the game I called earlier with them, Carrick did call curl.
Well, this is interesting because Kevin's going to throw the 4, 5, and 6, and it looks like Tyler's throwing 7 and 8. They're trying all kinds of different things here.
Don't think I've ever seen this one.
No.
Another nice salt weight takeout there. So Tyler Tardy in the house for his skip.
Yeah, they're just trying to establish one around that corner guard. They're not terribly worried about the rocks in the middle. The rocks at the edge of the 12-foot actually could help them, depending on where they put this stone. Looks like, again, it might pop out into the open on the other side. There might be room to get it out. You might have to come off the red to have a good go at that one. So looking to hit their own, come across the top of the yellow a little bit, push it through the back, and then he wants to spin up and over. That would take away all these draw attempts. If you got something to spin up and over into, you're looking for a lot of spin if you're going to get to the 4-foot. But if you get out from behind the guard, it's getting to the point where there's too many rocks in the middle that Cooey wouldn't be able to ignore them.
So here, easy firm, the call.
They switched the call. That was not what he indicated initially. They take the back one, but freeze is still available now. Straight draw. The only reason he's looking at the hit and roll, I think, right now is that one in the 8-foot is the only one that worries them a little bit. If they bury around that corner guard, they're going to have a piece of the 8-foot, but they're not going to be shot rock over that one on the other side. Now, you get it perfectly buried where they can't get it out. It doesn't matter that you're not shot rock yet. You can deal with that one later.
Stone coming down from Cooey. This needs to keep on going. It's a second shot.
Yeah, that's really good. Leaves a piece out, but now you can see to make any kind of play on it now, it's going towards those yellow ones sitting in the 12-foot. Stopera knows that. Still going to make a play on it. If he can get it over the top of the first one, even if he jams it on the second one, and the shooter stays, he should be sitting 4, and that's probably too many for the Cooey team to eliminate them all and bring this stone back into play. If he jams it onto the one that's full 12, almost biting 8, that's a different story.
So the stone from Howell, they get it past the guard. It will jam, but where does it go to?
Not the one they wanted to jam it on. You're one double away from putting it on the scoreboard. Now, that first double's not available right now because it's going into the other yellow. But you could hit and sit to the corner of it and then have a way to get it out later. That's what Kevin's looking at. Tyler likes the double through the middle. That's good too. I'm just not sure you can roll in far enough where this stone that you're about to throw is ever a factor. You might be able to.
So this is Cooey's last. Once again, Kevin Cooey throwing the middle stones this evening as they play three-handed. Sluchinski. They make the double and kick the other one out. Slide another one in to guard theirs. I think that's a pretty good result.
Yeah, the shooter, it was going to be tough to get the shooter in a position where it could ever count, but it does offer a little bit more protection for that Yellowstone biting the edge of the 8-foot. Andrew thinking about taking a pass at it. It's dangerous to take a pass at it now. Because if you ever touch the one that Kevin just threw, you're pushing it in for likely second or third. And then it's an open hit to sit 3.
So it's dead going to freeze to it. So there you see Lance Wheeler, the new addition on the left. Mark Fenner on the right. Now, Lance is also wearing a Fenner jacket, Sean, just to make it easier on you. But Lance has got the beard. The most bearded member of the team. Can't hold a candle to you, though, buddy.
That's the minimum allowable amount of whiskers on the face to qualify as a beard. Anything else just means you haven't shaved a couple of days.
Trying to work this one past. Just not enough weight. Probably not so terrible.
It's not terrible because, here's you can see the dilemma that Tyler's got here. If you hit and roll to the outside edge, there's a chance that Stopera plays the slash on the one he just threw, slashes it onto shot stone, and sits buried. If you stay there, he's got the crosshouse double. So, it's kind of pick your poison. There's a chance he won't risk the slash because there's ways that can go wrong with jamming off that other red stone and spinning back, something like that. So he might just hit the open one anyway. But you can see why they were thinking about what to do here.
So first at 2 for Tyler Tardy.
Got to stay for shot rock here, though.
That is not going to stay for shot rock. It goes away.
Ton of weight to throw for that shot. Well, thrower's choice again. You could play the slash. There's a chance that's coming off the red. You could come at it directly because now if you touch that yellow on the way by, you're not pushing it into the rings. You just push the red further in. It's still going to give up a shot for 2. Or you could just tap. Same shot you just played. Just try to tap your red one up. Sit shot rock.
Seems to be the least risky shot of the menu there.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, toying for a moment with maybe the idea of trying to split your shooter and raising that on, but you probably leave a double back, possibly.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about that. It's the whole Cooey team. Doesn't matter who's throwing last. They're so good at the angles for the doubles and such.
They are definitely a team full of prolific hitters.
I'm just wondering if you could almost get just slightly across the face, tap it almost straight back, and you might be able to leave your shooter hooked on that yellow so there's no double opportunity. You get a little bit more 8-foot that way, but that might not be worth the risk. If you leave the double, it's for 2 against you. This has got a lot of weight.
Well, this is going to have to be that little split now. It's got to jam on there and stay for shot. It doesn't.
Doesn't have to play the double.
Nope, it's just an easy hit for 2. So now, as our colleague Gord would say, you got to put that one in the bad bucket.
Yeah, the Cooey team hasn't had shot rock yet in this end, and now they're going to hit for 2.
So Tyler Tardy, final stone of the opening end. Looking to get a deuce. He makes it, no problem. Put 2 on the board for Team Cooey. Stopera will have the hammer in end number 2. When we come back, you're watching the Grand Slam on Curling Stadium.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatchewan in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
And welcome back to the Martensville Curling Club. It was an unexpected score, too, for Team Cooey. Stopera has hammer here in the second end. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Dave Schmel and Sean Joyce here with you. Connor Sims handling the production duties. And Sean, what do you think of the way that one played out?
Well, you know, it really illustrates, we talk about how important it is to be patient at times, and it really illustrates that there. They ignored a stone in the 8-foot that was shot rock the entire end, trying to get one well positioned around that corner guard, even then knowing that it wasn't going to be shot rock. Got that rock back there. It ended up on the scoreboard. And, you know, it shows you how important the patience is. They ignored, at one point in time, I think they were facing 4, maybe 5, just trying to get. Nothing in the middle was a huge threat to them. They had to get something set up on the corner. Made finally the good come around that they really couldn't get at on the first attempt, and it worked out for them. Just too often you see a team that might start to see, oh, there's 4 or 5, we better hit something. You change gears, now you're going to end up forced.
And definitely a deuce that came out of nowhere. So here's the second from Lance Wheeler.
Top four.
Nice come around, probably a 1 stone too high, or too deep, rather.
Yeah, you still have to be careful with this one. That's still a free guard out there right now.
So here comes Sluchinski. Gonna be tight. They just get it by. That's a big brush there by Tardy.
Yeah. Huge to move it as far as they did too, because now it's already fourth shot. Kind of the same situation as last, and it's unlikely that one ends up back on the scoreboard. There's just too many to have to deal with in the interim. But for now, Stopera will look to try to set something up in that corner. Not worried about getting shot necessarily just yet. He needs a rock behind that corner guard, position where it's hard to move it. Corner frozen on the one that was just thrown would be probably the best option right now. Could move it a little bit. Moves it far enough that he's got shot, but you'll notice he didn't even sweep that behind the tee line. He created enough separation that Kevin might be able to get that out now. Would have liked to have left them closer together, even if he wasn't shot just yet.
And Team Stopera is really trying to screw us up with Wheeler. He's wearing a Mark Fenner jacket and a Andrew Stopera shirt. Good thing he has a beard, which is, according to Sean, minimally acceptable.
Well, it's the minimum requirement to call it a beard.
So would you say I have a goatee?
Well, I haven't seen you lately, but maybe. It would qualify as that rather than just scruff or forgot to shave.
I can pull on it.
See, for instance, and I'd have to get more of a close-up to be sure, but to me, it looks like Andrew Stopera just hasn't shaved in a couple of days. That's not a beard yet. That changes the complexion of the end a little bit. They didn't need to necessarily make the double, but they sure didn't want to leave it right in the center line. No hesitation here from the Cooey team to go after the corner guard. And I don't know if he's going to try to hit this thin, come across, get the double on the one that's just thrown. If he could and stick his shooter right there, he'd have the shot rock dead buried.
It's going to go all the way across the top.
He's kind of looking at the hit and roll. I'm really looking at the triple.
Yeah, I see that 90-degree angle, Sean.
Yeah, it's the scary part about it is it's so thin on the first one. They're also talking split on the rock at the top. They might be able to get second and third that way.
Hack weight the indication.
Yeah, just trying to make the play on the shot stone and roll over in front of the second shot stone somewhere.
So Tom Howell's stone. Just going to catch it. Can they lock onto that and stay? Oh, just roll off. So a lot of stuff behind the tee line here, buddy.
Mm-hmm. And Cooey looks to be sitting just two, I think.
Yeah, the two in the back, and the third one is there in the left wing on the overhead.
Yeah, all the biters are starting to be a little bit of a problem. If you just hit the one that's fourth shot in the 8 foot, you're just leaving another stone behind the tee line. I wondered if they might not take a look at that possibility of drawing themselves Not saying that's what they're going to play, but
Sluchinski coming down to give his input.
yeah, he's thinking the draw as well. If it wasn't a red stone, I think they probably would. Looks like they might anyway. The red stone that would be the most obvious to hit is third shot right now. And the problem with hitting it is you're gonna create another pocket. They've almost got a pocket. I mean, they'd have to tap it back a little bit. They've almost got a pocket kind of right in front of Tyler right now. If you went over to the other side, hit the stone in the 12-foot, rolled into the 8, you probably leave a pocket. Everything's behind the tee line. Maybe we better get one in front of the tee line behind cover first.
So many pockets, it might as well be an apron.
Or a pool table. Sure doesn't want to bounce off on this. Better get around. We did.
They do. Let's sell down. Right there on the lid. Andrew's going to draw on top of it.
Yeah, I think if anything, that's just a hair too deep. And it keeps him from hitting anything for now, which means all those little biters are even less likely now to come back into play. But this is a chance with just a little bit of a tap. You can still get into a good spot to score at least 2 here.
Hear him calling T-line. This one just a little bit heavy.
Yeah, that must be the conversion factor. The American tee line's a little heavier than the Canadian tee line.
You're proud of yourself for that one, aren't you, Sean?
I'm just waiting. I'm more proud of the fact that you got nothing to come back with.
Oh, you know, a lot of people are saying we have the best tee line. Oh, man. All right, 1 point to Mr. Joyce. Don't worry, Schmel will be on the comeback.
Tyler's going to try to come around and try to get this in front of the tee line. He's still not out of danger because even if you make this shot, you make it too good, it's the straight back on the tight red might double the yellows over the top of that red. And this doesn't look light either.
Coming in hard now, it is digging in. So do you ever play into that little pocket there?
Well, you can come down to it again, try to throw this the same weight and just wiggle it, which looks like what he's going to try.
Yeah, he called for like back 8 weight.
It would be tempting to run the red back. That's one of those where I'd like to be at ice level to just take a look at those angles, because it looks like if you run the red back, you're not going to get the top yellow out, but it's going to come across into the red at the back 4, which is going to go straight into that yellow at the back 8. And where does the yellow on the other side go? Because if it ever clipped that one at the back side of the 12-foot, well, now we're back to, like I said, bringing in some of those biters into play. And if you need to stick the run back stone, that's the other key to that. But it might be there to leave one Yellowstone sitting pretty lonely in the 8-foot.
So here's the first of 2 for Andrew Stopera. And shout out to Aunt Sue and Uncle Bill, who are surely watching. So there he goes, shot stone, and after a very aggressive zoom, it's all Connor's fault, by the way. Second rock and third stone belonging to Stopera. So Kevin's thinking steal here, right?
Oh, for sure. Even as they needed to get close to the nose on that last shot for Stopera. Like he's not in a great spot, even if he could throw 2 in a row. Like you might be able to make the slash double. You're losing the shooter. But if the last one was to jam, you'd be playing that just for a single point. Well, you don't get to throw 2 in a row either. If Tyler can get to the inside of this, and this is out there a long ways yet.
Sluchinski going to try to work this over. He gets him moving a little bit. Going to stay on the outside. Ooh, opportunity here for Stopera to get a deuce.
Well, at least it might
be 3.
I think that one that was just thrown might be third shot. It's close.
It is extremely close.
Now, you can't see a lot of this. Well, I don't know that you can see any of this Yellowstone, but there's enough finish. He should be able to get to it. He only needs to move it about 1.5 feet.
I'm going to go with you, Sean, and say the yellow in the top is third.
You might see them measure it. It's
close. Well, you got to make this first, so let's do that first.
If you didn't think this would go, you could try the straight back too. That's a little bit risky. You'd probably, if you were playing it, you'd play the intern. And if you didn't quite get to the nose, you might get to that Yellowstone. And even if you roll out, you're guaranteed 1. But I really think, and they do too, that this shot is there on this ice. Only needs like back 8-foot weight.
So Andrew Stopera, final stone of the second end. Facing 1, looking for 2. Fenner, they got to go for the weight too here, I think. Wheeler coming on in to try to preserve that weight, get past the guard. You do. Now you're going to get there. Can you move it enough? It's just going to be a single point for Andrew Stopera. He cuts the deficit in half. Kiwi has a hammer in 3 when we come back on Curling Stadium.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at the RockShop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. The RockShop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting 10-fold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Welcome back to the Martensville Curling Club. It's the Grand Slam of Curling Canadian Open Tier 2, brought to you on Curling Stadium and SSN. It was a single point for Team Stopera in end number 3. Killy with a 1-rock lead has the hammer, throwing the yellow rocks. And Shawnee, Andrew had a shot at that one.
Yeah, he did. He only needed to move it a couple more inches. It would have been 2 for sure. He moves it 1.5 feet. We might see a measure. It did look like the yellow might have been third shot anyway.
I, for one, certainly agree with the playing the shot around the guard as opposed to the run back.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was obviously there, right? Whereas, even for instance, last week, the event that we did last week, not quite as much curl. Certainly what curl there was last week, it was on the finish. So, you might even try a shot like that. You'd still have to come tight by the guard. But if you're not sure you've got the finish to tap a rock on that shot, you could have played the run back.
That, of course, comes with the element of risk. You could always kill your own.
It does, yeah, for sure.
This one is hanging out there. And it's going to slide right on by. And Stopera is going to take it out, leaving it as a backbiter. So now, opportunity to put the pressure on. We'll see how Cooey reacts to that. Here's Mark Fenner. Now they're going to go to plan B.
Yeah, they got kind of caught here. They were trying to make it curl and then realized this is deep as well.
And it looks like that path might have keened up on them. Both teams going deep there.
Cooey has
At least they did get it
here.
behind. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cooey
they
does
did.
have last rock.
And there's nothing really in front of the T line that's a threat yet. I thought I heard somebody ask about the peel. Not guaranteeing that is our sheet. That the mic out there is just kind of an open source mic in the ring or in the rink. So I can hear voices. I can't always tell you who they are.
Yeah. I know a couple of them. You know a couple of them.
We know the women's voices aren't coming from our sheet. They'll be over on sheets 3 and 4. But things are getting messy here again.
Decidedly messy.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he liked the idea of coming to the front one. That it's just everything he's got in the rings is behind the tee line.
Yeah, I think you have to just come to the top of the lid, right?
Well, I mean, you don't have to. I guess part of what he's thinking, if we come to the top, he might be already expecting that Cooey's going to start peeling. Like they thought about it last time. Now everything's staggered at the front of the house. So maybe you just try to pile enough of them up there that it takes them longer. Boy, I don't like that. Hard not to line that up to kill the one at the back.
I'm putting my vote in for the outturn draw. But you know how they say every vote matters? Not this time.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure where they're looking for this to be. I think maybe they've gone back to the original idea of corner freezing the one on the top 12 foot. Like, that's the best shot I see on this side. And it all goes back to the fact that they know that Cooey's about to start peeling guards, and you want to leave it in a spot where he can't just get rid of everything in one shot.
And especially the guy who is going to be doing that peeling is Kevin Cooey. If anybody can make him fly, it's him.
Yeah. Yeah, they're playing this as a long guard, actually. This is not going to be long enough. So he'll go the first one over the top of the second one. He'll try to slash it back, and you actually might get that yellow in the 8 foot. If he does, there's a chance it's going back directly onto shot stone.
So here's from Kiwi. Sluchinski on the brush. One over the top. It's the other one. And one, two, three, four. Sayonara. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. Let's see that again, Connor.
Yeah, not quite as much of a bonus as he maybe was hoping for. There was a chance if you hit it right, you'd drive the yellow by the other and into the reds at the back. But he's happy to get those two yellows at the top of the 12-foot as well. They were just basically amounted to a staggered guard on the two stones at the back of the 4-foot.
What a weapon that is. Makes you almost wonder if he shouldn't have been thrown in the middle of his whole career. I kid, of course. He has a lot of success.
The double corners could still end up being scary as well.
Oh, for sure. Obviously, the first time that I've ever watched Kevin Kiwi throw in the middle. How about you, Sean?
I'm trying to think back to remember because he did play some interesting lineups, but I don't think he was ever throwing third stones that I can recall.
Makes you think, though, doesn't it? He's certainly, obviously a Hall of Fame career, but looks darn good doing this. Oh! Just whiskered it by.
Well, it kind of took away the outturn path to get to the, or I guess it will be the in-turn path because it'll be Tyler Tardy that has to get down there, the lefty.
Trying to finish this one off. Get it all the way up for Tom Howell. Pretty good job there. Okay, we have a comment from the chat saying that he played third for Johnny Moe.
Well, I know he played with Johnny Moe. That was the one I was trying to think about.
Appreciate that input from the chat. Sluchinski hard in the sweep. Can they get it by? Yes, they can.
It still might over-curl to get to the shot stone.
And it's still short. So you like the corner freeze?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's one I'm not even playing. I'm getting caught up as much as anybody else. It's like, you know how well this team hits. So you're always looking over your shoulder like, what angles has he got right now? Like, there's probably a port there right now.
Yeah,
get to the
that's
yellow.
That's what I looked at too, yeah.
Yeah, get to the yellow and it's a double on the reds. So, and there is that little biter at the back that would come back onto into being a factor if you made that. So.
You see the timers there in the background. If you're ever at a competitive tournament, be sure to thank the timers if you see them in passing.
Yeah, just don't do it while they're supposed to be playing the game.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, God.
Now, I should say, if I'm playing and they're supposed to be running the clock on my rocks, yeah, by all means, distract them the heck out of them. But
it's a tough job. This settles in. They lie 1-2.
Yeah, if you wanted to play it, that didn't take it away. It probably, if anything, made it easier. Tyler's not even looking at the port. He's looking at running the guard into that and then sitting 3. You can get there directly. It's just you might lose the shooter with the weight these guys like to throw. And, in this case, you're moving 4 rocks to get that 4th red one out. So you almost need to throw that kind of weight. He still likes the run in. So yellow onto red, onto red, onto red. And really, it's just because of the angles that everything is at. It's possible all 3 reds go. And watch that one at the back 12 foot. That's going to be the fun one because it's going to live a charmed life back there. Everything's going to go out around it, but it's going to stay right there.
So Tyler Tardy looking to make some happy music here.
Might be too thin.
Over the top, it moves things around a little bit. Still leaves Stopera sitting 1, 2, and 3.
I don't know if you can bury this one, to be honest. You physically you can, but if you bury it, I think Tyler could come off the one on the edge of the 4 foot, hit the one at the back of the button, and spin up. So I think you almost want to leave this just fully open, and you'd force him to play the wide out turn draw, or the in turn, I guess, for Tyler.
So you want to be better to come all the way down?
Well, I think it's definitely deep enough. You come all the way down, he's going to have a draw. Then he could play it for me to turn. Thrower's choice kind of thing.
Now this settles full 4.
That's probably good. He doesn't have enough of the inside of that red at the back of the 4 foot to play off of it. And it takes away the in-turn draw, or the out-turn for
draw.
Tyler. The out-turn for Tyler. So he's going to have to play the in-turn draw. Probably has to try to get all the way to the back when it's not even the guard that's the issue. The issue is going to be the stone that was just thrown. You could get by the guard by 4 or 5 inches and still rub that one at the top of the 4 foot.
So facing 4.
Yeah, and the way it finishes, the angle between the port between the corner guard and the stone in the top of the 4 foot is smaller than it looks.
Final stone of the 3rd. He needs a piece of the button. Sluchinski looking to carve this one in. Can he carve it far enough? Now bring it straight. And Tardy gets it done. Single point for Team Cooey. They lead by 2 to pair with the hammer wound. We come back on Curling Stadium.
Hey, Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Who knew after 20 years in real estate I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree. Come use us for real estate.
And welcome back to Martensville. Team Kiwi holds a 3-1 lead over Team Stopera here at the Grand Slam of Curling Canadian Open Tier 2. And Stopera was able to get the force on Kiwi there in that last end. Going to try to get a deuce here in end number 4.
Yeah, we didn't see the call there, but you have to think with the lead here, Kevin Cooey probably happy to throw that first one into the rings. They've had some struggles here early in this game. Aaron Sluchinski, not normally a lead, but, you know, the other side of that, prior to joining this team, he would have been a skip for quite a while, and he's used to telling the lead how easy his job is, so really, he needs to pull his socks up here. This is making skips look bad.
Well, you got 3 skips on this team right now. Tardy's done his share of skipping, of course.
Yeah. We're probably getting early for starting the speculation, but I've heard a little bit of speculation that, and it's strictly speculation. I don't think anybody's heard any rumors yet about new teams after this quadrennial, but wouldn't surprise anybody if Tyler goes back to skipping. I think most people expect that Kevin Cooey is probably retiring, although I don't know that I've had people say that he announced it, but I can't remember seeing it anywhere.
Yeah, I want to bet my house on it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's going to be interesting for this squad because, you know, save Lance Wheeler, these 3 have been playing with Corey Dropkin for a while. And now Stopera stepping in there. So where do they go next quad? Is Lance going to be with them full time? We still have the question of what John Schuster is going to do. He really hasn't said he wants to retire.
Well, there's still, honestly, the question of what Corey Dropkin's going to do, because when he said he was stepping away, I believe, if I remember the statement, he just was stepping away for the rest of this season, and I think it was more to focus on the doubles because he did qualified for the Olympics that way.
Correct.
So, you know, you kind of understand that, but does that mean this is more like less of stepping away and more a leave of absence type thing? I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we're not sure either, and it's going to be really interesting to find out because so many moving parts. You know, Colin Huffman has indicated his desire to leave competitive curling. And so that leaves John Schuster without a key element. So, as always, after every quad, there's lots of moves, and it's going to be interesting on both sides of the border for sure. One thing I would say is probably true. I would foster a guess that Team Casper stays together.
Yeah, they might be committed now. I thought you were going to guess that Brad Gushue is going to retire.
Oh, well, we know that one.
But I don't see him being the type to back to backtrack on that either.
So, yep, got a comment in the chat there. It's Tyler Tardy throwing the last stones. Kevin Cooley is throwing the middles as they play three-handed here. Don't adjust your laptop monitors unless you're able to turn it into a telestrator for Sean.
In which case, where have you been? Well, we're headed for our first open end, and you know, I haven't called a lot of games yet this weekend, but I haven't seen a blank yet.
I have not called a blank yet either, Sean.
And there's reason to be kind of excited about that, because if you get the first blank, you're not allowed to blank a second one. We haven't talked about that little rule change here. It's in effect for the slam and the tier 2, where if you blank one end, you can blank one end per team per game. But if you blank the second one, you actually lose the hammer. And I'm curious to see, and that's why I say I haven't seen one yet, but if you blank one end, does it change how you play future ends, knowing that, you know, you start to get into an open end, your opposition's just going to start hitting because you have to take one. You can't blank. So do you have to ignore a few more stones? I mean, I would think you do.
And the other dynamic that is that there is no extra end until we reach the playoffs. A tie will be settled by skip stones.
It's a draw to the button. And that certainly can affect the way the last, I wouldn't even say just the last end, the last two ends. In fact, I saw a women's game, was that the one you and I did last night? Where it even affected the way she played the sixth. She took one in six, leaving herself one down. She had a blank opportunity in six, took one, so she was one down playing seven, and I think had to be thinking that, well, she didn't want to blank six, take 2 and 7, and be coming home tied up without the hammer. So, you know, it changes. You got to work forward a little bit. When you know there's no extra end, it changes how you want to position yourself for those last couple of ends in a close game.
Correct. In the last draw that I called, Jacques Augier actually intentionally gave up a steal of 1 to take the hammer down 1 in 8.
And I've speculated that there would be situations where that would occur too. You got a choice between taking one or giving up one. You give up the one and you've got the last rock. If you manage to score your 2, you win. If you just get the single point, you're into the draw to the button. And if you take the one, you're on the other side of that scenario. Really, the guy with hammer and 8's got the huge advantage that way. Whereas under the traditional format, most teams are going to opt to be ahead rather than behind. You still win the higher percentage of games that way, but yeah, it's interesting to watch how it affects the last couple of ends.
Yeah, that game between Team McDonald and Team Maeda was fantastic in our last draw. If you weren't able to catch it, I would recommend you give it a quick view. There's a lot of great shot making. Not going to give up the score. No spoilers here. So 1-2 now for Team Cooey.
You can see how the rule has even changed the way this end was played. They didn't want to get into a force or an end where they could get forced to blank, and they still might have to. You make the double here, you're going to sit open. Tyler makes the hit, and you're probably throwing a blank. I can't imagine you'd take one in a fourth on purpose. It is only an 8-end game, so the other factor in it too, when you look at this is the score in the fourth end. You're trailing now. If you had to blank the fourth, There's only 4 ends left. You're down by 2. There's a pretty good chance you're never going to blank again anyway. If you got into that situation, you might be forced to take one just because of the scoreboard.
And the double is made. So we're likely going to see that choice in just a moment.
Tyler's going to give it a go to make the roll in behind cover here.
So the broom went down. This looks like a blank broom.
It's not a lot of ice.
Final stone of the fourth end, Andrew Stopera. Wheeler on the sweep. And the blank is in the books, so we have our answer. 3-1 lead at halftime. Stopera has a hammer when we come back. You're watching the Grand Slam on Curling Stadium.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
And welcome back to Martensville. It's the Grand Slam of Curling Canadian Open Tier 2. Brought to you here on Curling Stadium. I'm Dave Schmel. I'm joined by Sean Joyce. Connor Sims is handling our production duties this evening. Stopera blank the fourth, is only blank available in the game, and carries the hammer into end number 5.
Well, again, as I said, it probably means he's got to ignore a few extra stones, but the scoreboard also says he's got to do that. He's got to try to generate some offense. In an 8-end game, we're even kind of late, where even if he had the option to blank again, you're 2 down playing 6. That's a tough spot to be in. So you can't worry about odd versus even ends here. You got to try to score. Try to set up your deuce here. Aaron Sluchinski continuing to make the lead's job look difficult. after telling them for years it wasn't. Again, he doesn't play lead very often. You know, a guy that skipped for a lot of years, it'd be one of those things like, has he played lead since, who knows? He might have been 14, 15 years old the last time he threw lead stones.
Well, so, as somebody who plays back end a lot myself, I find it kind of cathartic and relaxing to just make sure I make my shots and sweep my rocks and get the best line and speed of ice I possibly can, and not to worry about too many of the other bits and pieces. But it's a team game. Every spot has its role, and that lead is so important, especially at this level. Bad lead stones leave it chasing all end.
Yeah, for sure. They called this as a guard, but I don't think they'll be heartbroken if it slides into the rings.
Well, I hope not.
It's another one of those ends where, like, we talked about the fact that, you know, Stopera needs to generate some offense. Cooey can continue to play defense. He's probably going to peel a corner guard in the next attempt anyway, unless they leave enough of this that he can go after it directly.
Here, top four is the call. And, you know, talking about leads on the other side, the new lead for Team Stopera, Lance Wheeler plays a lot of mixed doubles, so not unfamiliar with throwing a large number of draw shots. So almost like a natural fit if you had to, you know, a strong mixed doubles player is probably always going to be able to play lead pretty well.
Okay, so the discussion there, Kevin saying he's got over half of the rock in the rings, so they're going to go after it directly.
Going to try to make this one around the outside. Kevin made that no problem. Does he hang on?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
And sweeping for straight there because they didn't actually want to get to the nose and leave it where they could freeze to it. He wanted to stay out in the open. Rolls out of the rings, but that's not the worst outcome anyway. The worst would have been if they hit it right on the nose and they make this freeze. Now it's a straight draw again. Good line on the last one. Just needs to stop a couple of feet earlier so it doesn't poke out into the open. Doesn't look like that should be a problem this time.
This is a pretty good line. It's undercover. Didn't have to be shot.
You peel the guard in front of it. You could peel the other corner and try to end up with your shooter into it. Kevin, I think, saying he's okay with the chase.
Yeah.
There's advantages to the chase because that was what Tyler was looking at. If you tried the chase and you rub the guard coming by, you could end up with another one into the rings, but you make the chase, it's still got to negotiate that yellow at the back, so they're going to peel the guard. Maybe try to get it straight back, get two of them.
Well, there's a one over the top there.
Covers up shot rock. There's still a double in the yellows. It also cuts off the other corner guard.
So Andrew electing to come in. What do you think about that, Sean?
I think it's all he's got now with that cutting off the other. I mean, you can play the double in the yellows. The problem is you're not going to be in the rings. Then Cooey hits the open redstone, and we're getting back to, potential blank in an end where you're not allowed to blank.
T back 4. That's not what he wanted to hear.
No, you're coming around the other team's staggered rocks in the 12-foot. You got to be in front of the T line here. That little bit of sweep was, that little bit of sweep before the guards was just to make sure that it didn't rub, because if it rubs, it pops out in the open, and they hit and roll behind. And if you're going to be behind the T line, it's better there than right behind the T line.
Correct.
But
gives you some room to shimmy and shift and work in there.
Yeah. Kevin doesn't have to play all the way down to it, though. He's got, again, the two yellows in the top 12 foot are slightly overlapped. So if he can get one in front of the T line in behind those, there's no real good way to get at it. Well, he might have to come down to it now. That looks like a lot of weight, and he's got a lot of room.
Haven't put a stroke on this yet. Can Stopera get it past? He get it past, it's huge. Just a little short of it. Doesn't change the call, though, right?
Shouldn't. The call should be to the top of the house. I mean, he looked at the tap, but you play that, you're just, anything behind the T line, you're one shot away from losing all of them anyway.
Yep, he's settling in the top of the house.
You got to be the first one in the front of the tee.
Now both men on it, trying to drag it.
Yeah, got to go for line a bit.
They get past it, and they come all the way up into the full 4. Good brush. Very well managed stone, I think.
Yeah, they put that in a very good spot. Tyler would love to get right on the corner freeze. If he's right on the corner freeze, then he's always got the in off on that red. Leave any separation, that could be a tougher shot. You can't afford to bounce off, because that would give Stopera the chance to come off his shooter. But you get the corner freeze, and it's tough to find a path where Andrew could get a second one in there, and this rock is still dangerous. I don't know how he deals with it. You got to lock it on the corner here, though, to put that dilemma in play.
So on the way from Tardy.
Line looks good, but this might be strong. Can't bounce. Yeah, they waited too long to make a plan B call. He actually was heavy. Could have come right around everything. They have to move that yellow to make sure the red at the top is shot rock. And they're just looking at, well, do we have to move it hard? Well, no, they don't. Whether they want to try to keep the shooter. They're trying to get nose. which is good. There is an option to play the double over the top on the one at the back. Not saying I'd play that, but I would have at least looked at it. Just because it's an easier shot than this is. This is definitely there on this ice.
Oh, I think so too.
I don't think you ever want to just dead freeze, though. You dead freeze, Tardy is probably still sitting shot, and he's going to guard. You have to move it a little bit, I think.
One comes on up, makes contact.
Yeah, did he leave enough of the outside one to play the double? Maybe not.
We'll see. It's Cooey shot stone right now.
Problem I see with the freeze is he's still got the slash for 2. Like, if all you're going to do is freeze, you may as well just throw the guard and try to take away the tap. If you're looking at that pocket, it makes more sense to be looking at that as a hit. You freeze, you leave him half the rock on the outside, which is more than what he needs to make the red onto yellow. And I think if the yellow jams on the back yellow, I still think the top red is probably second shot. I just don't think there's enough air by the guard. I don't think they do either. Like, he can roll towards the red on the center line, but I don't think he can kick it out. I don't see anything good out of the freeze. It's funny that they haven't even talked about the guard. You put it right there, he hits half the red, and it's for 2. He's got no shot for 3 right now.
They're going to come down and talk about this.
Going to call their timeout and talk about it. He's got the angle running on the red too, so I mean, you can't take everything away, but you know, you make the red onto the yellow, it's jamming on the back one, I think pretty solidly, so I don't see a shot for 3 there.
So if you had to walk one down and place it, Sean, where does it go?
Well, just because I don't think there's anything good there off coming down to these, you just throw the guard on the tap and make him play some kind of angle slash in. And a guard on the tap doesn't mean like directly in front of the red stone, because you got to take away the path to it. So you're probably, if I had my telestrator, you got to put it kind of protecting half a rock on the outside of that red stone and fairly tight to the rings. And you know, they haven't talked about the guard at all. There's nothing that I see them talking about that isn't just going to make the shot easier for Stopera. Like, there were rocks where they're trying to play, their rock's not going to even be a factor in this shot. He's trying to move it now. I mean, at least that could at least try to take the shot away, but it really depends. Like, I don't think if you're tapping, You're not tapping it out of the 4-foot clean. You're going to touch your own. It's a question of where is it going to leave the Yellowstone and what kind of damage can he do on that angle run on that one in the corner of the 12-foot, because that's what he's going to have left.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Don't know if I'm in love with this. See, the clock's running right now. Both teams with about 12 minutes.
Well, if you don't throw, I don't think he's got a shot for 3. So you'd hate to give him one.
Tyler Tardy, final stone of the 5th.
This is, you're going to do some work for him here.
It finishes a lot, but oh my goodness.
Stopera sitting 2 and a wide draw around the outside. See if you can catch enough of the 4-foot to get you 3. I mean, if you could find the line to get past the guard, there's a chance this goes. But
I mean, when I saw that broom go down, Sean, I couldn't fathom what good came, honestly.
well, yeah, well, neither did I. It was looking like a guard to me.
I was hoping I didn't, there's something I missed, honestly. So this is a long shot, but Stopera is going to try to go around the outside to get there.
This does not look like enough ice to get by the guard.
Yeah, maybe he'll adjust his rotation. Who knows?
But you adjust the rotation, then you don't have the chance to finish at the edge. You almost need to go wider and go with the. Yeah, he's going to try to spin it.
Yeah, there's the old spinner. Everybody's seen Nick Adine throw this once. That's going to sail right past everything.
Yeah, that's the problem, is the spinner's going to stay straight for so long, and then he's got to hook in at the end. I'd have been tempted to throw it a little bit wider and throw it with...
well, look at that corkscrew. Yeah. Oh! A lot closer than I thought it would have been, Sean.
Yeah.
But it's a score of 2. It's all tied up after 5. Kiwi has the hammer in 6. When we come back, you're watching Curling Stadium on SSN.
Brett, come on, man. I know Aztec's #1 for online safety training, but we really should be out here practicing.
I know, guys. I'll be right there. Just let me finish this course on gas detection. Wait. Do you smell that?
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatchewan in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbach coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Welcome back to the Martensville Curling Club. It's all tied up. We're playing the 6th end. Team Kiwi has the hammer, throwing the yellow stones. It's been a back and forth affair with 1 blank in the books. And a solid deuce there for Team Stopera there in 5, Sean.
Yeah, it was, although, set up by a questionable last call for the Kui team. Made the deuce pretty easy, had an outside chance for 3. We talked about the different scenarios that come about as a result of the different rules here. Here's one that I think is going to get interesting in this sixth end. Kevin Cooey will take a single point here. The reason why? Stopera can't blank the seventh.
Correct.
So you take a single here if you have to. Like if the house was open, I wouldn't. There's no chance I would blank this end. You take one. You've already got him forced in 7, and that means you've got the hammer coming home. And if he doesn't want to take 1 and 7, he has to give up a steal. So then you're 2 up coming home.
Yeah, certainly we were discussing, how these scenarios would play out once these rule changes were made. And what you're talking about is exactly one of those scenarios.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it changes the way the scenario changes the last 3 ends and who might have extra or last rock in the 8th or last rock in the extra end. That already affects how you think, but we've gotten so used to it because it's always the same that thinking is just absolutely totally ingrained. Now you've changed a little bit of the rules. There's still scenarios at the end of the game, but it forces you to think a little bit differently, and it's certainly interesting. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Like, why should it be that automatic how you're playing the last end? Or the last 2 ends, or in this case, the last 3 ends.
That draw from Sluchinski came a little bit too deep there. Stopera's going to have a chance to lock on. This is a big shot here. Chance to flip the script real quick. There you go. T-line back 4 is the call. Great judge by the front end there.
They can afford to play this one tight. It's the 6th stone of the end, so if you happen to rub that guard on the way by, there's no violation of the no-tick zone.
See Andrew indicating board weight to take out this stone and kind of guard it up again. Eleven's a little bit more than board weight. Still probably good enough, Sean.
Yeah. I mean, you could double those 2, but you're going to leave it guarded. Talking about trying the double peel, maybe have it come into the rings. So peel the guard into the one that was just thrown. It's as much about opening things up as it is about trying to get to the ones in the 4 foot. But there is a chance if you hit it right, it could get in there, move some things around.
So Kevin Cooey with the 4th stone of the end. Ends up leaving that guard there for Stopera. Now it's a Stopera stone. And Andrew says, I like that scenario. Let's put another one in. Steal would be huge here. But then again, of course, Cooey still has the blank, so we're talking about that strategy.
Cooey has the blank, but I don't think there's any chance he ever throws for the blank here. If they've got a choice.
Well, no, I'm saying if
Yeah.
Stopera were to steal, he has the blank for 7.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. Hard to play the 6th then thinking you could blank the 7th, though.
Well, I know we're halfway through, and it doesn't look very Cooey-ish. That can, of course, can change in the blink of an eye. But that's pretty good. One and 2 for Team Stopera.
Can you hit this exactly the way you hit it the last time? And that's not the way you were trying to hit it the last time.
Kevin Cooey. Back, back, back.
Yeah, that's a much better situation. Got rid of everything off the button area for now.
How many times have we seen shots like this? Well, not too many with him throwing the 5th rock, but
or throwing the intern. He prefers that out turn so much, but it's like Tyler's in the house and say, okay, I'll give him the out turn, but he's left-handed, so he keeps calling the intern for him.
Never even thought of that. I reckon that after these, years, Kevin Cooey's figured out how to throw an intern as well.
Oh, he throws them both great, but he's just, there's that comfort factor with him in the out turn.
So it's Team Stopera sitting 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, a lot of those could conceivably fly here. That yellow is just half in the 12-foot's fully exposed, so that's what I was looking at. If you jam the yellow onto about half of the red, you can almost make 3 reds fly here. It's close. Plus, it gets rid of another rock. Like by making this, your shooter's going to roll away. Well, that one guard by itself that's just over the hog line, that's not guarding anything. So there's no more. The come around's not really that helpful anymore.
On the curl side, gets 2 of them to go.
Yeah, they don't care what the jam at the back either. The key there was you make the 2 roll away. There's nothing guarding the center line anymore. Not really much Stopera can do except play for the force at this point in time. And as we said, coming into this end, I don't think the force is bad for Cooey because he's already got the force in 7.
Correct. Once again, the rules for the Grand Slam events indicate a team can only blank once per end. Sorry, once per game. If you were to do it again, you do forfeit the hammer in the following end. Team Stopera has already blanked.
Yeah, I think if you're hitting the top one, you're conceding that you're going to get forced. I didn't mind his first call.
The little pop and flop under.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the guard, if you look at the overhead screen, it's not even in play.
It's not a guard. It's not a guard. It's
yeah. Maybe the only reason you're playing this is just so that it's not in the way of your draw path for your last one.
Does spill out.
This, yeah, all you could really do with this shot is it's a question of, and it matters, like how well do you know Tyler Tardy? And I can't honestly say that I know which turn he would prefer to play. They're going to try to bury it, but again, the guard's so high, burying it really doesn't matter. Do you try to, I'd be more tempted to try to cut off one of his draw paths and make him play the one that he's least comfortable with. But you'd have to know which one that is. And I just, you know, I haven't seen him throw enough. It doesn't appear to be a weakness in his game.
Heard him say it's in the good stuff. And they're going to drag this all the way to the top of the hat. Does leave Tardy an opportunity to play it via hit.
No, it really doesn't. If he hits it, he wouldn't be shot rock, so he's going to have to draw.
Tyler Tardy files stone the sixth. Not even a brush stroke.
Yeah, this is going to have to slow down. Well, it's curling now. That's usually a good sign.
There you go. That looks perfectly fine. Single point on the board for Tardy. Stopera has a hammer and 7 when we come back.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting tenfold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Welcome back to Martensville. It's Kevin Cooey with a 1-stone lead. Andrew Stopera has a hammer.
And it's interesting that it seems to be the Cooey team that's talking about how they want to approach these last two ends. Because we were talking during the break, I think it's Stopera that's kind of up against it here. For Cooey, Stopera can't blank this end. So it's real easy to force him. Just play all-out defense, and he has to either take one or give up the steal. If he gives up the steal, he could have last rock coming home, but he'd be down 2. if you force him to one, you've got the hammer coming home.
You see the time clocks. Both teams have over 8 minutes, which should be plenty of time. Team Stopera has both their timeouts remaining. Team Cooey has used one.
Yeah, I think this might have been the discussion. Like, are we trying full out to force him? And if we are, they might have played into the rings. He's playing the center guard here to start things off. And just hangs on to the center line.
So here comes the corner guard.
You said the 8 minutes is lots of time, and in a traditional game, it would be. But I also wonder if the fact that the scenarios, the rules change things. Is that going to necessitate some extra discussions here? Both rules are in play here. The fact that Stopera can't blank this in, so that's one thing. But it's also, you're in a tight game going into the going 7th and 8th end of a game where there's no extra end. So you're not just trying to manipulate yourself into, if you're Kevin Cooey, well, we want to have last rock in the extra end. Well, that doesn't work. There is no extra end. We were talking a little bit during the break. So if Stopera gets forced here or gives up one, so if you get forced, you got hammer against you in an 8th end, winner take all. You're at best probably 40% to steal in that situation. If you give up a steal of one, you're down 2, but you've got last rock. Well, what are your odds of getting a deuce in the extra? And it's probably higher, or in the 8th. That's probably higher than 60% or 40%, pardon me. But that only gets you into the draw to the button. So you got to pick your poison. And I'm sure there's going to be some discussions, and the wheels are turning.
And not for nothing, in the pregame draw, Kevin Cooey put it on the pin. So you have the stacked corners. We have a beautiful parallelogram.
I think that's what I was thinking. Kevin's going to look at just choking off the corner guards here. The corners are no good. So then Andrew's got to make a decision. Are we freezing the one in the middle? Are we coming around everything? Are we trying some kind of double peel, knowing that the more rocks you get rid of this early, the more chance you're going to get back to that potential blank situation?
Let's assume this one's made. Do you then tap the near corner guard underneath the one that's just being thrown? Should be able to get around the outside to do that.
Yeah,
it wasn't made, so
it wasn't made. So, yeah, I don't think you're moving any of the corner guards. You don't risk taking away your setup, because you take away the near one, the long one by itself isn't guarding much.
Ooh, not drawing here.
Playing this still kind of like a traditional setup, although not playing a straight double peel. He's just trying to get these off the center line. So my guess would be, and I don't know their hand signals, but this will not be peel weight, I would think. They're trying to just kill one center guard, roll the other one back to the corner, and roll the shooter to the corner and get a real cluster of corner guards up there.
Yeah, that's a hand signal for normal.
And that's more weight than I thought they'd be playing for what they were talking about trying to get out of this. Yeah, that's not a good result, because that tight guard was the one that was really something you could go around. I think Cooey's peeling guards now. Can you make the double and roll away? That's the question. I don't see this going. Doesn't look like there's enough room between the two of them. Tyler Tardy's trying to convince Kevin Cooey if he just misses the first one the first time it goes. I don't think it does. I'm not sure how else you could play it. I mean, it's tough to play the other one first because then you're liable to push the red towards the yellow in the rings. Now, you hit them almost exactly the same time. Hit the outside one first, then the other, and that gets them a little bit of a pop back to the outside. It's still a corner guard, but tougher to use now. It's there on this ice. There's no doubt. You could throw a guard, that red guard that's by itself there. If you needed to come around one on this ice, you could. On this ice with these rocks, for sure.
So looking for the come around here. From Fenner.
Yeah, and he's going to have to be really patient here. You go back to that first end, and remember we were talking about how patient the Cooey team was. There were no guards on the center. There were rocks in the middle of the rings, but nothing near the 4-foot. He just ignored everything for the whole end and got his deuce. It's the same thing for Stopera here. Those 2 rocks in the front of the 8-foot are not really a threat, so you have to be prepared to ignore them, maybe even a little more extremely because of the fact that you can't worry about getting back to the blank.
I think that was pretty well thrown stone.
Yep. So they're going to play the yellow across the top of the red guard, try to bring it into the rings, get the one in the house. The critical thing here is just don't stuff it. It's not critical to get the one in the rings. You don't want to stuff the yellow into the red and leave that stone at the back or in the rings guarded.
Roll a shooter.
Yeah, like that.
Did not roll the shooter enough.
Yeah.
So Stopera calling to hit this one on the top of the hat and roll underneath the other corner.
Yeah, feeling he's got to deal with one of these yellows now. You heard or saw at least Tyler Tardy talk about, well, he didn't have to worry about the double on the yellows just yet because it's going into the red. So if you can't make the double, you got to take care of these one at a time.
And while you do, you might as well try to bury to a good spot.
Yep.
They catch it. They get a piece under cover.
Yeah, he's got plenty to go after it directly and try to roll back to the middle. They're looking at the short run as well. This is still just Kevin's last stone. So the last of the third stones.
Asking Aaron how much he can see.
And that's what's actually convinced him to go after the other one. If you know you can see 3/4 of that one, if you make the run back here, like this is the buried stone. The other one's still going to be open on the next one. They're not going to guard it.
So Kevin Cooey with his last of the 7th. So Chinsky on it the whole way, coast to coast. Catches it. Will it spill all the way? I don't think so.
Well, his shooter rolled to an interesting spot, though.
Does hang on in the back. So Sean, does that? Yeah, take another look.
Yeah, they need to just hold a little bit straighter. Catches the piece of the red, not enough to kill it. Now, when the shooter, and to Aaron Sluchinski's credit, at least he was ready to sweep that, brought it in, so it's sitting 2. It gets over a little bit farther, the jam possibilities there. I think he can make the double and get underneath the red. It's
Yeah, that was be the question I was going to ask you.
I mean, the double is thinner than you think. Half a rock is pretty thick on the first one, so you're looking for about a quarter. That should still clear the other red, I think.
So Tom Howell with a big shot here in the 7th. One and two, and there you go. Stopera line to 1, 2, 3.
Now, does that leave the flat double for Tyler? I think it does. And then what can Stopera do? Like, you can't, if you make this double, he can't play the hit and roll back in behind the corner, because if he does that, he's jamming it on the back red. If he leaves a double anywhere and Tyler makes it, now you're back to, well, we can't blank the end. And actually, if Tyler makes this double, you hit and roll somewhere where he has to make a double and roll out, you don't even have the option to give up the steal. There won't be
Tyler
a
Tardy
play. Too thin.
Really thin underneath. So just maximum distance here, buddy?
Yeah, I would think likely. I mean, there's no way to take away all the double angles, but he scored 2 here. That's the best you could have ever hoped for anyway. 3 still a possibility. I mean, whatever double you leave him, he's still got to make it. There's no such thing as a gimme double when there's, 6, 7, 8 feet between them.
Yeah, I'd be throwing one all the way the heck into the 12-foot on the other side, really. So Stopera looking to draw one in. They picked this one up pretty quick. Wheeler on the inside, Fenner on the outside. The boys have a good feel for this one. I think that's a pretty good spot, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, the doubles are as hard as you can make them. This one's paper thin to get the one at the back. The long cross house one is very flat, and because of where the guard is, you can't throw what would be Tyler's out turn to get the flatter roll. You'd have to throw the turn where you're coming into it, and you'd gear into it, gear off of it a little bit lower. So he's going to play the thin piece, try to get the one at the back of the 12-foot.
So on the way from Tardy, trying to make it curl.
Means he might not have a piece yet.
Has just a piece, and he catches it in the back. Tyler Tardy, how about that, sports fans? Just gets it, Sean.
Yeah, they were worried about this all the way down, and it was so thin in the first place that when they're calling for curl, you kind of know that he's in danger of not hitting it at all. It's just enough movement to get a piece, and that piece was enough.
So a draw to any piece of the rings here for Stopera to get a deuce and take a 1-point lead into the 8th. Final stone in the 7th.
Definitely does look like those 2 rules affected this end, and they're going to affect the next end as well. Even if this is made, Kevin Cooey will have last draw coming home in a game where, normally you get forced to 1 in the 8th. You're in a really bad spot, but here it would be draw to the button.
We'll put that 2 on the board, and we'll see how this works out. 8th end action coming up on Curling Stadium.
Hey, Mark, you ready for this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Cupsy, what are you doing over there?
Don't worry, boys. Was just on AztecSafety.com, took a fire extinguisher safety course. Paul, I'm putting out the fires from now on. Woo!
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Who knew after 20 years in real estate I'd have to make silly videos for Instagram and come out behind a tree?
Stu, we need to do this stuff.
Why can't I just door knock into open houses like I did in the old days?
That doesn't work anymore.
Okay, so it's because I'm sitting here behind a tree. Come use us for real estate.
Welcome back to Martensville. It's the Grand Slam of Curling Canadian Open Tier 2. We have Stopera versus Cooey here in pool play action. It's 5-4 in favor of Andrew Stopera. Team Cooey has the hammer here in the final end. Dave Schmel and Sean Joyce here with you. Connor Sims manning our production. And so happy to have all of you here with us. And Sean, a deuce there from Stopera, and we were talking about the possible strategy during the break.
Yeah, well, and I mean, it affects it for both teams, really. And Connor reminded me of something, and I was aware of it because I saw it come up in the Tier 1 already. But so we're talking about wins and losses, but wins and losses aren't straight here. It's more like the way they keep track of it in soccer. A regulation win is worth 3 points in the standings, and we don't have those standings on our score sheet. But if you have to go to the shootout, each team gets 1 point, and the shootout is just for the extra points. So the maximum you could get winning in a shootout is 2 points. Well, Kevin Cooey is 0-2 right now. So in order to get into the playoff picture, he more than likely needs a regulation win. He needs the full 3 points. Now, I don't know if either of his losses right now, whether he has a single point for those or not. That's the it's the interesting quirk in it, is that the software that updates our standings doesn't have that extra little wrinkle built into it. But so Kevin probably needs the 3 points right here now. Stopera come into this game with a record of 1-1. You could certainly see where they might feel like 2 might not be enough for them. It all depends on how things shake out. Certainly if they win their last 2, they should be okay. But does that mean they have to play for the hard steal here? And they started out with the 2 center guards, so it looks like they're playing it like a hard steal. It's going to make for an interesting last end here for sure.
And the draw attempt from Sluchinski did rub off the Stopera rock, and this one's not making a round either, Sean.
Yeah, early advantage in this end, definitely to the Cooey team right now.
Just hit something and it was gone.
I gotta go open a whole bunch of screens while we're looking at this, just to see what both teams did earlier on.
So Tardy trying to bring in Aaron's rock. Aaron says, I'll help. That's not okay. It did keep on spinning after the rub. Fortunate for that, it probably took away the double. I do believe it did. Now, I would think they're going to come down and talk about this. Maybe they're going to call a timeout. I don't know, but I think coming around the right side all the way down to the button or even corner frozen to the Cooey stand would be a great strategy right now.
Yeah, it's just with where that corner guard is, it's hard to get there.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of curl in these stones. And we've heard from our research staff that Cooey does not have a point at all.
Yeah, I've already got that far. Cooey doesn't have anything. And I haven't figured out whether Stopera's win was in regulation yet or not, but I just need to do a couple more mouse clicks. I'll have that one for you too.
So timeout's been called by Team Stopera.
Stopera's loss came in regulation. Or pardon me, his win came in regulation. So no, he got 3 points for his win.
And as we look at this situation here.
His loss came in regulation too. So Stopera's at 3 points. Cooey's at none.
Yeah, so taking a look at this situation here. There's no way to double off the Cooey rocks.
Well, there might be. I mean, they were talking about that. Could they see enough of it? If you can, it's just enough. And of course, then they're just going to come around again. And if you ever tried it and didn't get it, they're going to come around again and try to sit 2 in the forefoot, and you're in all kinds of trouble.
Okay, so here's the shot call. Yeah. Coming through the port A.
And not with big weight. It looks like they're just trying to tap it up because I don't think they could see enough of it to put it on a shot rock. Well, now if you're just playing tap back weight, I'm not sure they can make it on the one, on the deeper of the ones. I'm not entirely sure they can't make this on the top one. So tap the top one onto the yellow and pop it out into the corner, maybe?
On the curl. They say it's heavy.
Yeah, I could see this doing nothing but, well, it's still over the corner guard. It doesn't matter.
Well, if nothing else, it opens up the draw on that side, but
yeah,
let's see if Tardy elects to have Cooey go there first.
If he had made the port on that, I think all he's doing is killing his own stone. Now, the shooter might roll in to be a biter somewhere, but that doesn't really help him at this point. Leaving the guard out there actually probably helps him more than anything else.
Yeah, Kevin Cooey's going to come there first.
This is not as easy as it looks. I mean, he can't come deep, obviously. Then he sets up the freeze. And because of the angle on the 2 reds at the top, like, he can't be too high in the 8-foot or he's going to be right into the run path on those 2.
6-7's the call.
6 is good. 7's pushing it to be too deep.
I guess it's a good thing it's a 6.5.
Andrew thinks they can get them all. It's debatable whether you can hit that thick enough to. That's what I was wondering. If you got right down to the face of the one that Kevin just threw, would you have second shot? And Andrew doesn't think so. Kind of got to make a decision because they've already used the timeout.
Well, they have one more. 2 timeouts in this event.
You'd like to probably, in this event, save that for the last shot, though.
This one's way too far out.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was there to get all three of them. He could drive it across the top of the one in the 4-foot and maybe get so then 2 of the yellows out, but he would have left shot rock buried. Yeah, short would cue it all up, I think.
So Kevin Cooey with his second. Aaron gets this one past the guard.
Yeah, he's going to have to go for weight here.
Going to be third shot.
Yeah, but it's in the run path on those 2 reds. And I don't think he's got a choice. Don't have to whip it because you don't need to kill the reds. But this is a chance to get rid of the yellows to go and get rid of that overlap, so you might be able to use the other stone. Talking about just trying to tap it back too, that's not a bad option.
Yeah, because
at this point in time, killing it doesn't help you. Getting it just behind the tee line might be great.
Right, because Stopera is never stealing now.
Well, yeah, that's not a given yet either. It depends. You need a rock where you can get something that you can run into that shot stone. He's overlapped at the top, so I mean you're not in a position where you can think about that right now. But they're moving some rocks around here, and you might be able to give yourself a shot on both sides depending on how you tap this. Oh, I think I thought it would get a thicker piece of that yellow. That the only part that helps him on that is that he could see the red just outside the rings in enough to do something with it right now.
Timeout called. That's their second. You see they have 2 minutes, 52 seconds. Team Stopera with 129 with 1 timeout remaining.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're worried about that outside one. Like I don't think Stopera can come off it and do any damage because of the angle of the yellows in the house. So it's got to be easier to get to that pocket with a draw than it is with trying to come off that one. They're thinking about trying to roll it fairly flat and high. That's a different story than trying to get into the pocket. If you're trying to roll just underneath that red stone and take away the angle run in, that's a little bit more advantageous, but now you're playing a pretty flat roll, so you're throwing, you're not throwing bumper to hack if you're playing that, which is fine. I mean, you're not doing any damage out there. Yeah, I don't see the advantage to coming in there and trying to move any of those rocks. If you just need to get to that pocket, you could draw to it. they're going to stick with that call. I actually liked it when they were talking about hitting a little thicker and rolling higher up and just cut off the run.
They play off of it, come on in, and they lie an absolute ton.
That's pretty much what they had in mind, and it jiggles it around. So the two rocks in the 4-foot that are shot in second, I don't see any way you're getting rid of both of them in one shot with what's available right now. There might be, boy, I don't even know if he could make the triple. Like that little spin up at the end really helped him. They're actually looking at the long run because the short run, it's hard to see anything good coming off that right now. Like if you just kill the two out of the top of the 8-foot, they come around, put another one in the top 4-foot, and I don't see how you even make him throw his last one.
Currently less than a minute left.
Yeah, they don't have forever to throw this one. I mean, they'll use their timeout to be able to throw the next one, but if he could get this just across the top of the one that Kevin just threw, coming from this angle, he might be able to triple 3 yellows. But you're a long ways out in front trying to run this back, trying to hit a very precise spot.
Stopera with his first in the 8th.
That's going to be out
Runs
there.
it back. That's going to go way over the top.
Yeah, just be careful with this one, because if you don't throw, I'm not sure he's got a shot to make you throw your last one. Like, you'd have to make a triple to make Tardy through the last one, and I don't know if there is one.
Makes me think of that famous clip with Kevin Martin and Johnny Moe talking back and forth, and eventually Kevin decided to throw it away.
Yeah, I'm not saying you need to throw it away, but you got to be a little careful with this one. The only way I see leaving a shot to get a pile out of them, and it's the angle on the red, he's coming from the wrong side to get them all. But if you ever move that yellow, the higher yellow, back a few inches, there then might be an angle. There might even be an angle to get 4 of them, depending how it sits. Now, I mean, he's still going to have a relatively simple shot for his last one, but you can make him throw it at least.
Also, that one comes in, and Team QE sits 5. Timeout called. This will bring out Coach Mark Lazar.
They could all go. If you can throw it hard enough. And you got to hit it fairly precisely. But red onto yellow, you need to hit the higher of the 2 yellows that are side by side. You hit it, just slice it. It comes across the top of the one at the back of the 4-foot. Those ones go. The one that just touches it is going to be spinning, come across the top of the other one. I mean, it's not easy, but I mean, if you don't throw that rock, this shot isn't even possible. I think it's physically possible. You're not going to see it made very often, but I think it's there to get all 5 of them moving.
Well, here we go, guys. Hit what you can see.
I don't even know if he needs to hit that much. I'm thinking half a rock. Because he's got to be across the top enough to make sure he catches the higher. You don't want to, if you dead stuff it, you're not hitting the higher one. You got to come across the face of it ever so slightly.
So Stopera looking to move more than 200 pounds of Scottish granite. They all moved. Does that one leave?
Doesn't really matter. It's going to be a draw.
Yeah. It still will be a shot.
Got all 5 to move. Just that one didn't slice across the top as much as I thought it might, and it dead stuffed.
Still a lot of granite moving there, buddy.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't have to leave him a shot where he could even touch all 5. Like, that was the thing. You couldn't move that rock.
So, final still in the 8th. Tyler Tardy for the game. You heard Kevin, half a rock in the 8th. And Tardy delivers. That's a score of 2 and a win for Team Cooey. They have a 6-5 victory over Team Stopera.
Yeah, and because of the standings, so it's 3-point win for Cooey. Stopera only had the 3 in his one win, didn't pick up anything in his loss. So both of them now at, both of them at 1 and 2 after that game. There is quite the mix of teams. I looked at the other score on the men's side. So we don't have any undefeated teams left in Pool B. And let me double check that, make sure that finished up the way I thought it did. Yeah, don't have any undefeated teams left in Pool B, and now in Pool A, there's just the 1. This is going to be an interesting final day here in this Tier 2, just to figure out who gets to the playoffs on Saturday.
It certainly will be, Sean. And tomorrow morning, we have action for you on Curling Stadium at 8 o'clock Central Time. We have Yamaguchi and McDonald. That'll be myself and Sean. And the other featured match will be Wayno versus Baldick. You can join Matt Sussman on that call. But for right now, for Sean Joyce and Connor Sims, I'm Dave Schmel. Thank you for watching the Grand Slam of Curling on Curling Stadium. Good day.